everybody, welcome back to Dead Car Rescue. Have you ever wondered if you got a dull paint job, can you just water sand it, spray over it with clear coat? I don't know, but we're going to find out. Join me as I find out. Hey everybody, welcome back to Dead Car Rescue. It's the next day, and I've got the Fairlane outside, getting ready to water sand it. Wish me luck. All right, there she is. If you can look right below the door handle, you can see how dull the paint is. All this is going to be clear coated from here down. So I'm not going to mess with the top. The top still looks shiny and like on a different level. Like this is all going to be clear coated. So it's going to have a few imperfections like this right here, but it's going to be like a survivor. It's just going to save the paint for I don't know how long, but that's what we got. You got to knock that shine off of it. Make sure there's no wax left over from the previous wax job we did. Might even change that white stripe to black after I get the car clear coated. I might not. I don't know. We'll see. I am going to tape that off though. All right, let's get started. I got the car wet sanded. All I'm going to do, I'm going to wash all this stuff off now. I could have missed a spot or two, you never know, but we'll find out later. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to wash it first, then I'm going to take the pressure washer and get in all the nooks and crannies and stuff like that that some of that sanding powder might have got down in. Then I'm going to go back over it with water with white wall cleaner in it to try to remove any grease film from the waxes and stuff I put on it. And we'll do that, and then we'll bring it inside the shop after it dries off, and we'll start masking it off. Well, what can I say? I'm starting to tape off the top, but I figured before I did that, I would just go ahead and do a quick walk around just to show you how dull it looks, and maybe you can see something I missed, or you could probably say, hey, that ain't gonna look good, or whatever. See, there's one piece I gotta sand where that mirror used to be. Do have a little bubble right here. I'm going to clear coat over that and hope it stays. We'll see. As far as these go, I'm not taking those off because I broke some on a Falcon trying to get them off. And the little stems, there's 2 stems on each letter that stick into the trunk. I broke the stems off of one of them. I had to just glue it on there. So I'm not going to mess with those. I am going to take this off, but as far as the emblems, I'm not going to do that. Tape off the chrome and tape off the door handles and even that chrome and tape off that. This right here, I'm not going to tape off. I'm just going to tape the chrome off for the center part and then just spray over that and around it. And I might go up to about here with clear because that is kind of dull right there. I think that's where they blended it in when they painted the bottom. They just kind of blended it in and just stopped up there. So I could take these off, but I know the rubbers I'm gonna mess the rubber up, the seal, the gasket underneath. So I'm not gonna bother with those. So I'll let you see more of it when I get it taped off. Okay, there she is. She's all masked off and ready for clear coat. So my wife and I masked this thing today, and we just got through, and it's 11 o'clock at night. She went to bed, and I am out here finishing up a few little things. But just thought I'd let you see it before I clear coat it tomorrow. Don't know how it's going to look. I hope I don't see any scratches and stuff like that or swirl marks after I get the clear coat on it. I really don't know. It looks like it would show up, you know what I mean? But we're going to find out tomorrow. And if it does show scratches and all the little squirrely marks that I made with the sandpaper as I water sanded it, if it does show that up, it'll be what it is. I will drive it like it's a $5,000 paint job. Like I say, folks, I've never done this before to a nicer paint job. I didn't care what it looked like underneath as long as it was smooth. But I really do care about this one. I don't want it to look worse than what it did when I started. But that's what you got to do. You got to just go for it sometimes. We'll find out tomorrow. Good night, everybody. All right, if you're wondering what I used, I was about out of this activator and about out of this clear coat. I bought me some new ones today. I bought a new gallon of this and a new bottle of that activator. So I went and bought the best paint gun that cheap money can buy. $29. And I also bought this little catch-all filter, maybe to catch any water droplets. I drained my tank on my compressor. You can see I drained it yesterday and left it unplugged and uncapped until about an hour ago. Pumped it full of air and got my hose out, ready to go. You can see my shop is spotless. That's the way my shop stays. This is the cup that I've got 2 or 3 of them. But all right, you mix this 4 parts clear to 1 part activator. So 4 parts of this in the cup to 1 part of this. Now here's the way I was told to do it by a friend of mine. All right, 4 to 1. 4 to 1. All right, he said, like if you fill it up with clear coat to 7, right there. If you fill it up to 7 with clear coat, then you get the activator and you fill it up to 7. So this much activator is going to be in there to this much clear coat. And that's 4 to 1. So that's what we're going to do. We're going to mix this stuff up and stir it up. I do have a strainer. I got to get a strainer. But we're going to mix it up, put it in the paint gun, and then I'm going to test it on this hood right here. I'm going to just kind of spray a pattern on it. It's just an old hood. And just set my gun. And I'm not a paint gun guy, but this is the pattern. I've already set this, and I've got this locked down. I read the instructions, and I just set it the way that the instructions told me to do it. Now, as far as pressure, okay, I've got like 42 pounds of pressure. I got between 40 and 45. That's what a friend of mine uses, and if he uses it, that's good enough for me. So we're going to start to work on this, and we'll see how it works out. I did decide on the pattern I'm going to start spraying. I can lean over like this, start at the center of the hood, and come this way until I get it all cleared. And then go down there, and then go around on the other side, do the same thing, and do the front, and go completely around the car, come back up here. Or I could lean over. It's so far to reach, though, I'm not going to be able to do that. Just imagine a longer hood. You have to do it from the side and do half, and then get over here and do the other side, do half this way. That's the way we're going to do it. I got to remember to get that little spot down there, right above the bumper between the grill. I'm going to spray over this, like I said, and spray over this. I'm just going to spray that way. All right. I do have my door up. I've got to get a mask on after I get my clear coat mixed. I am going to let this down a little bit. I'm going to do it just like that. Turn my light on. I have my wheels covered up mostly. Got it all taped off. Everything's the way it should be, except for that right there. Everything is the way it should be as of last night. I've kind of looked it over and just walked around it, and it looks okay. All the tape's still stuck. If I do get some clear coat on the chrome or a little spot, it's not going to make no difference. It's not like you're painting it. It's clear coat. So let's do it to it. Wish me luck. All right, I am an experienced clear coater now. So I'm going to show you the good and the bad of a first time, trying to be a first time professional clear coater. I learned the do's and don'ts the hard way, and I'm going to save you a little bit of trouble. Preparation is the best thing you can do for the car. You got to make sure all the little pieces of lint are off of it. I should have went over it with a tack cloth. A tack cloth is kind of sticky, and I should have did that, and I have those, but I didn't do it. And you can see little bitty specks of, it looks like fuzz here and there, but it's not really bad enough that I'd say it was a bad paint job. It's just if you're going to do it for yourself, that's fine. But if you're doing it for somebody else, like a buddy, be sure to give him a beer or two before you start working on it. Maybe a 6-pack. But here is the results. I am going to show you the good and the bad now. I think you can see little bitty specks right there. You can see those in the paint. Okay? That's the little fuzzy things I was talking about. They're not that bad. It's just a lot of this is imperfections in the paint. But there's a little spot right there that was an imperfection. And you can see where I sanded a little bit too much right there. And I got a little bit too much right there. It's not going to hurt it. It looks so much better than it did. All those little parts, you remember I told you the sanding marks on it, I was afraid they would show up underneath the clear. Well, they didn't. It covered over. It looks like I painted it with green paint. That's what it looks like. Now here's one thing I did do. See this? See the difference in that and this? I clear coated this and I left it. It was wet. Went all the way around the car. Come back and started spraying the back again. And come up to here and stopped. And that's where I stopped. And you can see that. I don't know what I'm going to do about that exactly. I don't like that. But I don't really want to mix up another jug and clear coat the hood again. Because where I clear coat there, it's also going to make it look dull here, like that little spot right there. It's not perfect. I'm not a perfect guy. Now I'll show you some more. Okay, there's the little bubble right there that was in there. You can see that? And there's looks like little bitty specks of stuff on it, but it's not that bad. I'm happy with it. I'd say 80% happy with it. And I did get a run or two. You knew I was going to say that, didn't you? I'll show you where they are. But there's one. And right there's two. That's the only runs I got in it. That one and that one. That I could see so far. Did pretty good on this. Looks better than it did, don't it? And see, there's some right there I missed. I should have sprayed that a little harder right there, a little more. I don't know if you can wax or buff that out after it dries, but that's what I think I'm going to do. I'm just going to leave it alone, not spray no more, because like I said, if I spray more, it's going to do the same thing to where it's dried in the other spots. There's a light spot right there, not much. The sides did pretty good, and I think the top done good. I just clear coated up to there. Is that not beautiful? If I could rub my hand across that right now, I'd feel it and say, hey, oh, by the way, here's another spot. And you can tell what happened there. See that? That's where the hose got into it. As I was leaning over to paint the middle, I felt that hose bump it. You can't really see it good from right here like I can. But anyway, it's not really that bad. Okay, there you go. That's where the hose got into it. Now, I think I can sand that later with like 800 grit and come back over it and spray it again and be done with that. Or eliminate that. I'm not sure. I'm looking to see if I got plenty here. And it helps to have a light. If you had lights down on the floor shining up, you could see where that paint, the clear coat's going. Okay, folks. Now that I'm experienced, if you guys want your car clear coated, just call a buddy that paints and tell him to do it. I'm happy. I'm just not totally 100% happy. I was looking for just a perfect job, but you know, I'm not perfect. So anyway, let's let it dry some more. We'll get that paper off of it, put the chrome back on it, and get it outside in the sunshine so we can see what's going on. But that's all we're going to do with it until I get it, you know, outside and see what we got. It's out in the sunshine now, so you can see all the flaws. I've noticed this right here. Now, you guys tell me, you paint guys, see the difference where it looks wet and it looks dry? That's where I finished up right there and stopped. And you can see it's kind of rough. Not really, but just a little bit. Can I buff that out? Do you know? You guys know? It needs to be buffed out right from here up in there. I don't know if you can buff clear coat. I guess you can. Just a little bit light right there. I'm just going to drive it anyway. It's a driver, so it's going to be fine. Notice the top and the bottom is both shiny now. And those imperfections in the trunk, you know, you can barely see them, but you can see them. I haven't washed it or cleaned it up or nothing like, you know, I'm going to wax the top. But just wanted to show you guys this. I got to put the mirrors on, windshield wipers back on, and you can see, if you look real close, you can see that mark on the fender. If you look just right, you can see it. Not a bad paint job. I mean, not a bad clear coat job. I'd say it's probably a 6, 7 out of 8 out of 10. I'd say it's 8 out of 10. Yeah, that's what I'll say. But it ought to go for years and years and years, I figure, before it needs to be painted. So I can just get in it and go and run up and down the gravel roads or whatever I want to do. And it'll look pretty going down the road looking out through the windshield over the hood. It'll look shiny, it won't be so dull. All right, everybody. The question was at the beginning of this video, can you take a dull, blah looking car that's got paint on it, but it just looks dull, and no matter how much you polish it, it just will not come out? Can we take one of those cars, sand it down with 600 grit water sandpaper, tape it off, mask it off, and spray it with clear? Can we do that and make it look nice again? Can you do it? That proves you can. So there you go. I want to thank all my subscribers for subscribing to my channel. Golly, guys, I'm sorry I haven't been putting out a video every week, but it's just hard on this old guy. But got something coming up in the future you might like. I'm going to destroy a vehicle. Do one of those shows. But we'll see. But for now, enjoy this one. I hope you liked it. And if you did, give me some comments on this thing, because I'm going to keep this. Give me some comments on what I need to do to that one side over there on the passenger side that's got the dull spot. I want to hear your comments and give me some tips for next time I do one. Thank you very much for watching. God bless, and see y'all in the next video.